Let's go ahead and take a look at the manager tile next. So inside the list for the default set, you'll see one, if you scroll down, you'll see a start and an end. The start tile manager, this is going to be when the scene first loads. This will actually allow you to send out messages to tiles and to other events to tell them certain things. The tile end is going to be when a goal is met and or multiple goals are met. One of the advantages to the tile end that we'll get to is that you can actually have 4 or 5 goals all over the place, and you can set it for all goals or a number of goals have to be met. Alright, so let's go ahead and place a character in the scene. We'll put a goal in the scene and have things kind of set up and ready for going through all of these so that we can get a good feel for what actually has to happen here. Alright. So if we have these inside the scene, what we've looked at before is that on goal, we had the option to say inside of here what was achievable for the goal, item, location, timer, and then we were able to manage our world level transition. So we could say if we meet this one, we'll go to the level 2 that we have that we've already created. But when it comes to entering into the scene the first time and exiting, it's been just kind of the default. It just loads and there it is. So if we want to actually do anything extra with it, if you go to the start and go to the properties for it, there's going to be a handful of important elements to this. First one's going to be the brushes right here. The brush on this one, what you can do is 2 things. One, it's going to be, if you see the little square right here, this is going to be a tile transition. We'll look at this one in a little bit. And then the other one is going to be a goal brush. If you're going in from start, typically you're not going to say go into start and goal is met. You could say that in start, goal is met after a delayed amount of time. You might want to have a screen that just pops up for 5 seconds and is a transition screen, and then the goal is met, so you go to the next part. And then also inside of here, we have a manager setting for our goals. So currently there's only one goal in the scene, so it's just saying it's for here we can just say that it's actually 1. On the start, which is what this one's going to represent, we can actually just say what we want to happen when the level loads up or the scene loads up. You can say that at start it's paused. You can say it requires a button press to continue through. You can also do a delay pause, a delay before the pause is disabled. So you might push a button and go through, or you could say that it's no buttons required, but it's going to be 4 seconds of pause and then the game's going to start. And then also you can disable player controls beforehand so that the player can't move. Maybe you don't want to pause the game, you just want to disable the controls for a little bit and then it starts up on it. So just a handful of options here. This will definitely continue to grow larger and larger for functionality. And then we'll look at the end one when we look at the tile manager for the end part. So just as a note here, so we're currently pausing it. So if I play, we'll go ahead and just click on the play here. And when it comes up, if you try moving your character, I'm moving my keys left and right, nothing's moving because the screen's actually paused. Now there's nothing to tell us that it's paused or that we need to push enter or the mouse button or joystick button to start it. But if I push enter or the mouse button, notice now I can actually start moving around. So that's one of the elements that you might put text in there that says press start to play, and then the game starts to continue through. The other part is that once it starts, then the start manager is done. There's nothing else that the start manager is going to need to do at that point. So the next thing we'll do, we'll take a look at the end manager and we'll see what's happening with it, and then we'll start working through some transition screens.